Captain Jenna Riker stood on the bridge of the TSS Indomitable, staring out at the vast expanse of space. Her ship, one of the most advanced vessels in the Terran fleet, hung in orbit above humanity's latest colonial outpost on the distant planet Kepler 186f. Captain, incoming transmission from Terran Command, Lieutenant Kai Nakamura reported from the communications station. The young officer's voice held a note of urgency. Jenna turned from the viewport, her boots clicking crisply on the polished deck. On screen, she ordered, moving to stand before the main display. The stern face of Admiral Eliza Graves materialized, her silver hair pulled back in a tight bun. Jenna had served under Graves for years and knew that expression all too well. Trouble was brewing. "Captain Riker, we have a situation," Graves began without preamble. "The Zorgons have launched a surprise attack on our mining facilities in the Keeper Belt. Dozens of ships. Significant casualties. We need the Indomitable to respond immediately." Jenna's jaw clenched. The reptilian Zorgons had been a thorn in humanity's side for decades. Their advanced technology and aggressive expansionism constantly threatening Terran interests. "Understood, Admiral. We'll make best speed to the Keeper Belt." "One more thing, Captain," Graves said. "We're sending a specialist to assist you. Dr. Liam Novak, our leading expert on Zorgon technology and culture. He'll be arriving by shuttle shortly." Jenna raised an eyebrow. "A civilian scientist on a military operation?" "Dr. Novak's expertise will be invaluable," Graves insisted. "He has unique insights into the Zorgon mindset. Accommodate him as best you can." "Good hunting, Captain." Graves out. As the Admiral's image winked out, Jenna turned to her first officer, Commander Reeves. The tall man had a pensive look on his chiseled features. "Well, you heard the Admiral. Set a course for the Keeper Belt, maximum velocity, and have the shuttle bay prepare for our guest." "Aye, Captain," Reeves replied crisply, moving to relay the orders. An hour later, Dr. Novak arrived in the Indomitable's main shuttle bay, escorted by a pair of armed Marines. Jenna sized him up as he approached mid-30s, sharp features, piercing blue eyes that seemed to miss nothing. He carried himself with a quiet confidence. "Permission to come aboard, Captain?" Novak asked, extending a hand. His voice was smooth, cultured. Jenna shook it firmly. "Granted, Doctor. Welcome to the Indomitable. I must admit, I'm curious what expertise you bring to this mission." Liam smiled enigmatically. "All in good time, Captain. For now, let's just say I have some unique insights into our scaly adversaries." As the Indomitable hurtled through hyperspace towards the distant Keeper Belt, Jenna conferred with her senior staff in the briefing room. Dr. Novak joined them, still maddeningly cryptic about his role. "The Zorgons have hit 3 mining outposts so far," Commander Reeves informed them, pulling up a holo display of the embattled sector. "All were stripped of valuable ore before being destroyed. Survivors reported Zorgon raiders using some kind of new energy weapon, more powerful than anything we've seen before." "That's my cue," Liam interjected. He tapped the display, zooming in on grainy footage of the Zorgon weapon in action. A searing beam of green energy slicing through Terran ships like a hot knife through butter. "I believe this is a zero-point energy beam. The Zorgons have been experimenting with the technology for years. If they've managed to weaponize it, it could give them a significant advantage." Jenna leaned forward, fixing Liam with a probing stare. "And you know this how, exactly?" Liam hesitated, seeming to choose his words carefully. "I have contacts in Zorgon space. Former colleagues. They've kept me apprised of certain developments." Before Jenna could press further, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared as the lighting shifted to combat red. "Captain to the bridge," Reeves shouted over the comm, already sprinting for the door. "We're under attack." They rushed out to find the bridge crew scrambling to battle stations. On the main view screen, a massive Zorgon warship loomed, its angular hull bristling with weapons. Searing beams of zero-point energy sliced out from its prow, barely missing the Indomitable as Kai threw the ship into evasive maneuvers. Evasive pattern Delta 5? Jenna barked, gripping the arms of her command chair as the deck bucked beneath her. Charge plasma cannons and return fire. The Indomitable veered and twisted desperately as the deadly beams of green energy sliced past, the near misses shaking the ship to its core. Terran plasma blasts splashed harmlessly against the Zorgon ship's advanced shielding. Their shields are too strong, Kai reported from the helm, his face taut with concentration as he jinked and juked. Our weapons can't penetrate them. Liam gripped the back of Jenna's chair, his face pale. I might have a way to get through their shields, but you'll have to trust me. Jenna glanced at him, torn. Another zero-point blast rocked the ship, sparks flying from overloaded consoles. Damage reports flooded in, the Indomitable's hull integrity dropping fast. Do it, she ordered, praying she wasn't making a fatal mistake. Liam sprinted to the comm station and frantically typed in a set of coordinates, his fingers flying over the console. Sending a tight beam transmission now. Moments later, the Zorgon ship's shields flickered and died, the emerald glow fading from its hull. Seizing the opening, Jenna shouted, "All cannons, fire!" A barrage of plasma tore into the exposed Zorgon ship, ripping through its armor like tissue paper. Secondary explosions blossomed across its hull as it listed and burned, internal fires gutting it from within. Their shields are down, Kai exulted. They're breaking off, jumping to hyperspace. As the crew erupted in ragged cheers, Jenna fixed Liam with a piercing stare, her voice low and dangerous. What did you do? Liam met her gaze unflinchingly, something akin to defiance in his eyes. I sent a command code to disable their shields. My contacts in Zorgon space provided it to me. Your Zorgon contacts? Jenna asked, realization dawning. Her hand dropped to the sidearm at her hip. Not just contacts, Liam admitted, his voice heavy. My colleagues. My family. I'm half Zorgon, Captain. Stunned silence fell over the bridge like a shroud. Liam continued, the words pouring out of him like a confession. My mother was a Terran scientist. My father, a Zorgon engineer. They fell in love, and I was the result. I've been a bridge between our peoples, trying to foster understanding and peace. But a hardline Zorgon faction led by my father's brother, warlord Zarthax, is determined to conquer humanity. The attack on the mining outposts is just the beginning. Jenna considered this revelation, her mind racing. Liam's mixed heritage explained his uncanny knowledge of Zorgon technology and tactics, and he had just saved all their lives, perhaps at great personal cost. She made a decision, holstering her weapon. If Zarthax is behind this, we need to stop him. For the sake of both our peoples. Dr. Novak, I'd say you've more than earned our trust today. Liam nodded gratefully, relief etched on his face. Then let's get to work, Captain. We have a warlord to stop and a galaxy to save. As the Indomitable set course for Zorgon space, and the crew prepared for the harrowing trials ahead, Jenna marveled at the twists of fate that had brought them to this point. A ship full of humans, guided by a human-Zorgon hybrid, racing to prevent an intergalactic war that threatened to consume them all. She allowed herself a small, grim smile. Just another day at the office for the Terran Space Service. With officers like Reeves and Kai at her side, a brilliant and brave specialist like Liam on board, and the indomitable human spirit to light their way, Jenna knew they would find a way to victory, no matter the odds. Humanity had a knack for that, after all. It was their greatest strength, the very thing that had allowed them to reach for the stars in the first place. And now, with allies in unexpected places and a cause that transcended species, they would ensure those stars stayed free and bright. The Terran Gambit had begun. The stakes could not be higher. But Jenna had a feeling this was a game they just might win.